Hello and welcome back to another one of my videos where I talk about how you can get more leads or more inquiries from your own website, particularly if you're someone like a mortgage broker, an IFA or anyone else who works in financial services. Now, a few weeks ago I put out a video where I talked about some split testing that I'd been doing with a couple of clients. I'd been testing out two different versions of a landing page in each case and sending traffic to both versions across the same time period and measuring which landing page gave the best results. And if you haven't seen that video, I'll put a link to that in the description so you can check that out as well. But in that video I talked about the fact that one of the ways that you can easily set up a split testing experiment and drive traffic to two different pages and then find out which is the winner out of those two is to use a free tool called Google Optimize. And in this video I'm going to show you how you set up Google Optimize and how you set up one of those experiments so as you can test out different versions of your landing pages in order to try to make improvements that are going to get you more mortgage leads or whatever kind of leads it is that you want to get. So let's take a look. So what I've done for the purpose of this demonstration is I've set up two versions of a page. This is just a template taken from Thrive Architect, and you can see that on this one here, which I've called version A, I've got a headline that says struggling to get mortgage leads from your website. I've done a question kind of headline. The rest of the page is identical. That's just, you know, as the template came. And I've done a version B of it where I've used a different headline. It's more of a call to action headline rather than a question-based one. So I'm going to pretend that I want to test out which of those headlines is going to get me the better conversion rate with whatever kind of conversion I'm trying to generate, which in this example is getting people to book a call, but same thing would apply if you were trying to get people to fill in a form to submit a mortgage inquiry. So I've got my two versions of the page there, and next thing I need to do is go over to Google Optimize. So let's go to optimize with a z.google.com and it will take me to this page here, and I click get started, and I'm just going to say no to the emails. I'm assuming with this that you've already got a Google account and you're signed into Google. If not, it would prompt you to do that. So we just accept all the T's and C's. Okay, so now it's going to ask me to create my first experience. In other words, our first experiment, basically. So click onto that, and it's going to ask me to give it a name. So this is just for my own benefit. So I'm going to say this is my headline test. And you can see down here we've got different types of experience we can create. The two main ones you might want to use are this first one here, A/B test, where you take an existing version of your page and you can actually within Google Optimize make some edits to that page to create your second version within Google Optimize. I prefer to do what I've done here, you know, already pre-create my version A and my version B and just use Google Optimize to do the splitting of the traffic between them and the measuring of the results. So in that case we'd actually want to do a redirect test, and we put in here the URL of our version A page. So I can just copy that from the address bar there and paste that into there. And now what it wants me to do now is add a variant. In other words, tell it what my version B is. And you can have multiple variants. You'd have a version B, version C, version D, etc. That then becomes what's called a multivariant test rather than a straightforward A/B split test. But we're going to keep this simple and just do two versions, because the more different variants you have, the more traffic you need to get meaningful results. So it's generally best to start off just with a two different versions of the page. So we'll do add variant, and we can either accept the default name, or I'm going to call this version B just to keep it consistent, and I need to put in the URL of my version B page. So again, I can copy that from there, paste that into there, and you can see there it's now telling me my original page is version A and I'm going to be testing it against version B. So we click finished to that. Right, now I've added my variants, and you can see it defaults to 50-50 weight distribution, so in other words each page will get half the traffic. Again, you can change that if you really want to, but to keep things simple, let's just give equal traffic to each one. Now it's going to ask when this experiment should run, so we basically can leave this on the default, that basically whenever anyone tries to land on version A of the page, it will either let them carry on to version A or it will redirect them to version B. So we can leave that like it is there. We're going to keep the default here, but all visitors who try and go to the version A page will be put into this experiment. Again, you could change that and say only a percentage of your visitors will take part in the experiment, but we'll keep that as the default. And then we need to link this experiment to our Google Analytics account. So you would do that, then you would select your Google Analytics property from the list. I'm assuming you've already got a Google Analytics account. And the main reason we have to link Optimize to Analytics is because the main thing we are going to be testing here is which page gives the most conversions, which page generates the most leads. And we'll be using Google Analytics to measure when a conversion happens. And hopefully you've already got your goal tracking, your conversion tracking set up in Analytics. If you haven't, you'll need to do that before you go any further. But assuming you have, you can go Add Experiment Objective, choose from list, and you'll see any goals you've got set up will appear in the list here. So my objective for this experiment is, and what I'm going to judge the pages on, is which one gives me the most of these goal completions, these leads. Okay, and then we come down to the final bit here where we put our settings in. So in order for the experiment to work and for Google Optimize to be able to do that redirection of people who were intending to go to version A and it's going to redirect half of them to version B, for that to work we need a piece of code installed on the website. So you'll see if I do check installation here, it will tell me that at the moment I don't have that code in place. So there it is, checking the version A page, and there it says the installation has not been found, which we expected because I haven't tried to do it yet. So if I click here, it will actually take me to a Google help file that tells me how to install the code on there. But I'll just go back to the experience. And click view instructions there, and basically what I need to do to install this is take this single line of code here and put this into the head section of every page on my website. And I'll say every page because then that means we can run experiments on other pages in the future without having to worry about whether we've already added this code or not. So we would just copy that and then either add that to the head section of the website yourself, or if you're not able to do that, then get your web developer to do that for you. Now, if you're using a WordPress website, which I suspect a lot of you watching this will be, one of the easiest ways to add this or any other code to the site in the header is to use a plugin that allows you to just drop code snippets into the header and footer. So I've put one of those onto my demo site. Let me just move myself out of the way, and then if we go to settings, you see I've got this particular plugin here, and this just gives me boxes into which I can put whatever I want in the header, footer, etc. of my site. So I can paste that script into my head section there, save that, and that's now saved. So now if we go back to Optimize and do check installation, hopefully this time it will confirm that the code is installed. Excellent, there it is. So we can now go back to the experience, double check any last settings. So you could turn on email notifications, you get notified when the experiment started or once it's hit enough traffic to get results and stuff. That's probably worth turning on just in case you forget to check back in and look at it. And then up to the top here and click start. And that's it, it's now running. So what will happen now is whenever anyone tries to go to the version A page, it will either let them go through, or as has happened here, it will automatically redirect them to version B. And so as time goes by, obviously it will build up some data. So if we go to the reporting tab of Google Optimize, then obviously we have no data at the moment, but as time goes by, it will tell me how many sessions there have been in total, and it will show me down here how many have gone to version A and how many have gone to version B. And in fact, if I just switch into a different account, I can actually show you the kind of what the results looks like on a test that's been running for a little while. So this is the reporting tab of an actual live experiment that I'm actually running on my own website at the moment, where I've got the original version of a particular landing page, and I've been trying some changes to see whether I can improve the conversion rate. And you can see in this particular experiment, the changes have not so far made an improvement. The original page is converting at 41%, and the changes I've made have actually, on that one, I've got a lower conversion rate. So these experiments don't always, produce an improvement. Sometimes they just prove that what you've already got is actually really good. But you can see here it tells us for each one how many visits each page has had, how many conversions each one has generated, given the conversion rate, and it does statistical analysis, as I showed in that previous video, to tell you even before the experiment's actually finished which one's most likely to come out as the winner. And eventually, once it's got enough data, it will declare the overall winner. So that's what you can keep an eye on as once you've kicked off your experiment. So I hope that's been useful. As you can see, it really is very easy to set up these kinds of tests. You simply need to create the second version of your page with whatever changes it is that you want to test, create a Google Optimize account if you don't already have one, and that's completely free, and then configure your experiment as I just showed just now, and then sit back and wait for the results to come in. As usual, if you've got any questions or comments about anything I've shown in the video, do leave them in the comments below, and I will keep an eye on that and try and get back to you. If you've enjoyed this video, please do remember to give it a like, give it a thumbs up, and subscribe to the channel and hit the bell notification icon so as you're the first to know when I release more videos like this in the future. Thanks very much for watching. Have a great day.